Okay, a little update to a little health issue, financial issue that I've had. There needs to be a new phrase or word or something to describe toothache, because that's not strong enough. I've had some problems off and on for a while. Anybody that's watched any of my other videos would notice, you don't have to be too sharp about it. If I didn't mention it, you'd notice mannerisms and stuff like that. It has to do with lack of sleep, which I don't sleep enough anyway, but extra. And showing of, say, tooth pain, you could probably notice mannerisms that would be showing you that. Aside from that, it got real bad. Now, I've had some problems there in the past, and I thought that was the top. What I went through in the past couple weeks, last week especially, pretty bad the week before that, there's no words for it. I mean, the risk of sounding, and I might end up calling this video that, tortured by God would be a way of putting it. And I don't mean to say that in a blasphemous way. I say that because it's obviously not a person doing it, and it was torture. It was seriously Guantanamo Bay level stuff. The reason why I say that is because it's 24 hours of the day, non-stop, no way to get away from it. I've had all kinds of sicknesses and pains and this and that. Your feet hurt. It doesn't necessarily mean that they stop hurting when you sit down. But there's some relief. There's some way of there's no relief. There's no solace. There's no way to escape it. It's on you. You can't go to sleep. And I end up confusing it now, but there's days of not sleeping. Days upon days. And it's just hurting the whole time. And you're fighting it the whole time. Without break. Without sleep. You can't even close your eyes. Think about that. Day after day after day. I'm honestly shocked that I did as well as I did. Now, expense-wise, you're looking at somewhere upwards of $2,000 I will have lost. And lost wages from not going to work. And they've been pretty merciful about that, thankfully, for this day and age. So that's not a real issue, at least not yet. But there's that, and you're looking at $1,600 times 2 for 2 root canals that's got to get done. And you got people running for office that are not doing anything to fix these medical problems. That's just what it's supposed to cost. It's supposed to, people like to get mad when somebody talks about raising minimum wage. Oh, it's going to make this or that go up. Okay. So then you're saying that because what I'm making right now is above what a lot of people have pitched minimum wage being. I'm sure some people have pitched it this much. But it's north of 15, let's put it that way. At least gross. So apparently, you're trying to tell me that even a person making what I'm making, which is this extraordinary amount apparently, should just about go broke trying to fix their teeth? I don't understand where people's mentality have gotten. I don't understand how you get where you are. And it's seriously, you think it's an exaggeration from those politicians. I know Alan Grayson was one of them years ago, which I don't know what he's turned to now. But talking about it's not just a Republican, but he said the Republican health care plan, don't get sick. That's literally what it is. If you corner some person who doesn't want anything changed about this medical system, like, hey, what should we do about this? Well, you should have taken better care of your teeth. Okay, even if that was true, we're here now. Do you have a time machine? Because I don't. So once you get to a certain level, you're just screwed. Doesn't make any sense. So there's got to be some big changes. I mean, the fact that, see, the first thing I think when I start going through something, I don't just think, oh, why me? Why me? I think I'm probably not the only one. That's my thought. I'm not the only one going through this. There's bound to be other people. What if somebody has it worse than me? What if somebody doesn't have, like, I'm fine now. I got some work done on last Thursday, and the pain's gone. We get a little pain here and there, but compared to what, that was life-altering. It was life-changing. And that cannot stand. There's got to be big changes in this country. Things like that cannot stand. And there's a reason why it got that bad. And it's because of no mercy. These jobs have no mercy about medical bills and this and that. I managed to get a little bit of mercy this time with this one, but I'm talking about the last one, 5 days a week. You got these medical places, they either don't have enough people or they're being greedy or something. They're barely open. So you got to miss work to go. And if you're out of points at work, you get fired for trying to go to the dentist or even the doctor. Even the doctor. That's how bad it's gotten. And there, we got some of these maniac right-wingers that are trying to start that in on children in school. Get them used to that. You get too sick, you fail your grade. Somehow we've got to stop letting psychopaths get power in this country. That's got to stop. And people get mad at me when I go around these local elections and I start asking them national and international questions, like what's that got to do with somebody running for this? I need to know before they get any power. Any. I need to know. Like, you don't mind $3.8 billion going over there to Israel, and you got people over here can't afford to get their teeth fixed, can't afford to go to the doctor. I just got through watching a little clip of Jimmy Dore talking about a general strike. We need one. Big time. And I'm one of these people that's kind of, I'm a little different about unions and things like that. I don't necessarily trust them. On the other hand, there's an alternative to a union. And what that is it's a people's union. In other words, you don't have to be an employee of the situation, whatever it is, business. You can just sort of call, you can have somebody there, if somebody works there is getting treated wrong, and they put out their alert, and then the people all around the country completely start boycotting and shutting that place down. Anybody that does business with them gets boycotted also. It spreads like a cancer. That's what we need. We need a highly aggressive, cancerous boycott and shutdown. If one corporation, let's say they make a car part, and, say it's a fuel pump, doesn't matter, and they do somebody wrong, they put out their alert. So not only do the other factories that have anything to do with that catch it also, the cars that use that fuel pump also catch it. You either get it from somebody else or you lose your business. Something like that. That's what we need. It's about time this country starts taking care of people, or at the very least allows them to take care of themselves, because it's not doing either. This country is somehow anti-socialist and anti-libertarian at the same time. And there's way too many of them fighting each other. You're both getting screwed by the Democrats and Republicans. I'm getting a little bit off topic here, but that's the situation that I've been through. And there's got to be some kind of answer for it. Things like that can't go on. And, you know, I do just need to expound on exactly how painful that is, because I don't think a lot of people know. And I don't want you to know the hard way. I'll tell you what surprised me, getting a little bit away from political stuff for a second. I started researching it. You know, and another thing happens with me when I start going through something, I start researching it. It's not only the thought that other people are going through it, how are they going through it? How am I doing? Am I doing better? Am I doing worse? It was what the results was coming up that it was supposed to be one of the worst pains human beings can go through, which I didn't know. And I took that with a grain of salt until I started reading women agreeing that it was. That carried a little bit more weight. I know there's going to be a few people get mad about that. Well, I'm sorry. If there's something I don't understand, I've heard enough about pregnancies and stuff like that. And just about anything else a woman can go through, you know, men can go through. It's kind of equal. That's sort of a variable. I mean, you could even compare other parts that are different but similar. So that's kind of a big variable right there, and it's supposed to be extremely painful. I was ranked very high. And a lot of women, as a matter of fact, I go so far as to every female that I've read about, every woman has said it was worse than pregnancy, childbirth. That's an extraordinary thing. Now, if you say you're a woman watching this and you say it's not, you've had both, I'll take your word for it. But I'm just saying, every one of them I've read has said it's worse. And that's extraordinary there. And I can't bear that thought that there's other people going through that. They might not have I can't imagine if I had not been able to have that done, and it costs something. Oh, it costs something. And there's a lot more coming. As I said, I mean, you're looking at $3,300 for the two. But I can't imagine some people don't even have that as an option. I've managed to do it well enough for myself, and I've had help here and there. Some people don't have that, and that kills me to think about. Because even having one pulled now, this is why you got so many people missing teeth. It's cheaper, but it's not cheap. I mean, at some point, there'd be somebody with just a pair of pliers in their own mouth trying to wrench the tooth out. And then you got the other issue. This is another thing. The dentist office pitched this as an idea, and I agree. And I've known this forever. Dental problems can kill you. And yet it's still not put up there as the same value as other medical treatment. Isn't that strange? It's almost as if the system doesn't care to save you. That's another thing to think about. So anyway, you know, take as good a care of your teeth as you can. But also, we've got to put our heads together and come up with some kind of way of changing this country and making things like this get fixed. Because this doesn't need to... This is a wealthy country. There's plenty for everybody here. This whole system has got to be torn down and rebuilt. And, you know, people should not be left in this kind of pain, in debt. And there's got to be some kind of answer. We got to get away from the trivialities. I don't even know if that's a word, but trivial nonsense. I'm still not caught up on sleep. But I'm way better than what I was. And maybe I'll be more productive than what I was. I don't know. You know, anytime something really bad or really good happens in somebody's life, it changes them. Could be good, could be bad, could be for better, for worse, but it does change them. They don't stay the same. And maybe I can be more productive and get more done myself. But we all need to work on this. This has to change. This country has got to improve for its people.